July 7th, a view of some things hanging up in one small section of my loft home here. There's a photograph taken by a former ophthalmologic nurse who was the nurse for a now retired ophthalmologist where I got my health coverage at, and she had gone on some ophthalmology missions to India, and she had a print of her photo hanging up in an ophthalmology office, and we bartered she made a print for me and I gave her a linoleum block print in exchange. This man who looks to me as if he might have leprosy, with this kind of beautiful pair of glasses, the kind of contrast between the metal and glass or plastic and the organic nature of his face and hair and skin. Anyway, it was a beautiful, a striking photo. Some people distressed by it, but it was actually terrific when doctors and nurses engage in this sort of work, helping the millions who have nothing and in desperate need of things like eye care. Dunnotar Castle from my International Artist in Residency, the Aberdeen Art Gallery in 1987. Photo I took in Israel, I think in 2002. Photo I took in East Anglia coast of England in would have been 1985. Along the Tiber River in Rome in 2010. A linoleum block print I did Victoria Palace Theatre in London, which is near Victoria Station. I stayed in this kind of tiny room hotel near there. That was in 2004. The remaining sections of the drawing of the now destroyed large multimedia piece, a mixed media piece called Homage to Pawiak Prison. I saved the portraits of the 5 Polish and Polish-Jewish men who were executed in the prison, different decades prior to World War II, when the Gestapo used it as a transit concentration camp, and thousands were either executed in it or transited through it on their way to death camps. Drawing I did called Retro Landscape Metamorphosis, summer of '84 in the Tatra Mountains of southern Poland near Czechoslovakia. There's one of my favorite drawings, one of my 3 favorite drawings in the entire Under the Wings of God series. This is Robert Desnos, or Robert Desnos, the French surrealist poet, a European famous writer of commercials played on radio stations in Europe. Born in 1900, died at the Theresienstadt concentration camp in Czechoslovakia at the end of the war. He was non-Jewish but involved in the anti-Nazi resistance in France, was in concentration camps in Germany, Poland, and then in Terezin, where he died after liberation of typhus. It's called Sorrows of Love, and in lieu of wings, I kind of did what was for me kind of metaphoric surrealist imagery, including different drawings I had done in previous years. There's one I did from a bus or train in Scotland in 1987. The old lamppost at the old Mountain Lake Bridge in Seattle near the University of Washington campus. A mothballed boat up in Ballard, a district of Seattle, where all the fishing fleet or remains of it is there. Some music, a shell, my depiction of a French postage stamp, my depiction of some kind of fanciful bird for my imagination wearing like a 19th or 18th century military tunic. And this creature kind of like, as if comparable to like those in Where the Wild Things Are by the late Maurice Sendak. And I don't remember if I did this as a leaf or a butterfly. There's a drawing by my oldest nephew, Danny Segan. We have dinosaurs and alligators with like I don't know, wings of sorts. The recently framed drawing called Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleichem, depicting a Muslim Gazan boy a Jewish Israeli boy, both victims of the never-ending conflict between Israel and Palestine, and toy Western guns and water pistols and a like Zorro-like badge and handcuffs. Drawings from I did of a bird carcass I had picked up on the beach by Dunnotar Castle, and I did in my studio when I was in Aberdeen at the time, 1987. There's the drawing of Victor Jara, the slain Chilean singer, songwriter, theater person who was murdered in 1973. Getting some reflected light here. Place Volnoj, Freedom Square, a drawing on an aluminum lithoplate about my time at this dormitory in Krakow in 1985, which was next to Place Volnoj, Freedom Square. The dorm itself had been a interrogation and police center by the Gestapo and later by the communist-era police, and a lot of blood and victims must have gone through this. Every day, Polish people would put flowers outside the entryway to the dormitory. A beautiful drawing dated 1962. I bought it at the Goodwill or Salvation Army back in the early 1980s. My 1970, it's dated 78, but I think it was 76. Homage to Chagall, the only extant proof I have it left. One is owned by the Musée d'Art Juif de Paris in France. My masterwork from the residency in Aberdeen, The Old Boy Needed a Holiday, which was inscribed by, or witnessed by some dozens of Aberdonians, from school kids to police officers to diplomats at consulates in Aberdeen, and the Lord Provost, the Sheriff Clerk, and a terrific piece. Hopefully one day this will be on permanent installation at some Scottish or British art gallery. There you have it.